going on, everybody? Uh-oh, more folks coming in. This is great. It's the most on-time Hero Meetup yet. It's good to see everybody. Thank you all so much for being here and for the amazing. Oh my God, we got you Long, we have Elixir, we got Armor Knight. Oh, we have. See, we got Guru Merkaba, AK Wonder. We got Creator. We have Klaus. Ragdoll is coming in. Andra's coming in. Great.
I'm making some coffee.
Guys, the stuff. I mean, first of all, welcome. And this obviously for the introduction for everyone coming on watching on YouTube, etc. Like, welcome to JFH Hero Meetup 22. These are really milestones at this point. Like every time we do it's just so awesome to see how long we've been doing it. You Long and has been coming since the New York in-person meetups. Elixir was there on day one of the first JFH shoot, aka Avel. So this is just spectacular. Klaus has been there since the New York stuff, and everybody who's come since it's just adding momentum to this wonderful multi-year journey that we're on together. So. And if you don't know, again, for the obviously everyone on here knows, but if you don't know, if you're watching Just for our Hero Meetup for the first time, JFH is a cinematic universe we're building together. It's a show that we are producing together as a community, meaning that everyone's got their own stories and characters, but they all tie together in a similar way to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it's a really, really big deal. And today it's a big deal because it's really never been done before. And it's awesome that today is our last day. The deadline's at midnight Pacific Standard Time for the JFH action scene remake competition. So Elixir was the first to submit her wonderful recreation of Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill Volume 2 scene. We actually already did a podcast on That Fat Samurai guy's YouTube channel, which he's a fantastic host, and he screened Elixir's short already, which was fantastic. And everyone who has submitted is going to be in the Urban Action Showcase sponsored by Warner Media, their film block for Justice for Hire specifically. So it's actually really awesome that they've been showing us so much love since we launched, and they're giving us our own film block. So everyone goes into that film block, and we'll have the date for you guys soon. But between now and then, November 20th, we're definitely going to have a panel with some executives from Warner Media, with some other film executives and fight choreographers and martial artists and a whole bunch of creative folks. And we're all, hopefully everyone who's on here, everyone will come onto that panel as well. And just talk and we'll screen the stuff and I think the Audience Choice Award will be given out there as well. Between now and then, we'll have some Audience Choice voting for everybody as well. And there's a bunch of giveaways that Warner's going to be supplying us with, and of course anybody who is like, our network is our network. Meaning that if there's somebody that you want to talk to on any of these things, you just let us know. Or you just reach out to them directly, and like everyone's in the family. That's what we're focused on, building like a really tight-knit community. So, but thank you everybody who has submitted, and Army Knight, I know you wanted to do it too. So but
I won't be able to.
It's okay, man.
I won't be able to. My phone won't let me.
It's okay. I know, and I'm really happy that you let me know, because I know that you're there in spirit. So. And Vengeance, still hoping that something comes in from you. I know that you have that. I know you got your eyes on some. You're one of the folks on here making your own JFH series on your own. So I know that there's something happening there.
For my thing, sorry, my bad.
That the series Vengeance is being delayed because we decided we're going to do 13 episodes.
Wow. Wow, that's.
Hi guys.
Hey, Kimberly, is that Kimberly or is that Ragdoll?
Hey,
Hello.
hey, Kim.
Hey, what's going on? Well, welcome to the JFH Hero Meetup. Are you already in the cinematic universe, or are you new to the experience?
No, she's a teammate of mine.
Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, so you're in the
Yes.
real life superhero community.
Yes.
Awesome.
You betcha.
Awesome. Well, thank
But
you
just
for
kind
your
of on
service to
hiatus.
humanity.
And they're kind of on a little bit of hiatus right now because I got, because of work and other, other stuff going on.
Well,
But
you're
I've
welcome.
been taking.
Please.
Hmm?
I'm sorry. We're very, very happy to have you.
Thank you.
Yu Long has just let us know that he's got something coming tonight as well. Another submission. So he already submitted one. So two, and Yu Long may or may not have be ready to talk about some of the stuff he's working on with his JFH narrative. And I'm hoping that tonight we'll be able to say goodbye to our very first real life superhero cast member, Arachnoid. So I'm checking to see if he messaged me because I know that we were planning on doing that as well. But yeah, Yu Long, I mean, I know you were planning some stuff. You want to tell us a little bit about what you're working on?
Cool.
Well, me?
Oh, yeah. That in character Yu Long, out of character Eric. I'm in character and out of character Jan. On here, we normally talk in character and out of character. In character meaning the story characters we made up, and out of character are real person. So we got Eric, aka Yu Long.
Uh-huh.
Can you hear me? Is it working?
Yeah, brother.
It's
Yep,
working?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Want to make sure. I haven't used this headpiece in a very long time. So interesting how Vengeance is doing a series too. Like the last week I was just shut that off, Tanya. Sorry about that. Last week or a week and a half, I've been thinking about putting together a consistent storyline. Instead of making shorts every now and then, I want to make something consistent so I could take content out of that and add it to, small things that we're doing with JFH. At the same time, I already have like a long-sided story that I've been putting together for a very long time. So I just took pieces of that, started editing it, refining it, and putting together a whole series as well for Yu Long. So it's like, what is his purpose and stuff doing, or what am I doing here on this planet in this world, and all the fun stuff that happens. Did a first episode the other day. Geez, it was 6.5 minutes. The script was like 25 pages, cut out so much of it. Fun thing about it was I recorded it in about 2 hours, each character's part, and then took like 5-6 hours to chop it up and edit it and make it good, but presentable. So at one point it's for Instagram itself. So the first episode is just straight up to down. That's it. Second episode I started shooting today. And it's 16:9, which you'll have to just flip it over and do the thing. So other than that, it's just story. What is you out of character? What is Yu Long? What is his purpose? What kind of conflicts does he encounter? What is his abilities? And why does he or does not he do certain things that can make major changes in the world? Him personally would not have the conflict. It is the conflict of the people he meets that question the validity of having a specific amount of ability to do something and not actually choosing to do something with it for whatever that may be revealed as some point later in the series. So, yay.
So, Yu Long, I have a question. This is also a question I think that I would pose to the entire community. And one, the journey challenges that we have on the app. If Andrea, if you pass me that for a second too. So if you go to the JFH, can you see that? It's all blown out. There we go. Look at that. So these journey challenges, and Guru, I think I've already asked him this question, but they're essentially a truncation of the origin story, of a hero's journey. So to a certain extent, if you followed answered each one of these questions in video form, you will essentially have your own mini movie. And whether you're telling, each one of those answers is a minute long, let's say that, there's 15 of those challenges, so you have 15 minutes. Or if each one of those answers is 30 minutes long, and now you have 15 30-minute episodes, all of that is totally, viable. And so, we're doing our best to articulate the value to the community of helping people tell their character story, while also setting up to do that in even more hands-on ways, whether that's through technology or even through the equity crowdfunding campaign that we're going to launch in 2 weeks, which essentially is us pulling together funds to not only build more technology, but also to help produce shows. So like we're producing the main JFH show, but we're also going to be going on tour so that we can actually augment the shows that you're producing yourselves. So my question is, do you find, or are you referencing, or is that helpful at all in your process, these journey challenges? Or are you just going off and saying, hey, you know what, like, I know the story I want to tell, which is totally fine. I know the story I want to tell, and I'm just going to go start writing it and shooting it, and then adjusting as you go along.
So when you introduced the journey challenges, I think it was about 1.5 years, 2 years ago.
We have been talking about it for a while.
I've been out of the loop
Yes.
for a long time too. But
It's been about probably about a year and a few months.
yeah, okay.
But we've been talking about it for a while. Absolutely.
When those were put out and to do them, I think they were great. I think they're a great stepping stone for each specific aspect of the character development and their activities and things that they do and whatnot, and their mission and their purpose. Truth be told, I actually forgot that those things existed. I've been out of the loop for a while.
It's okay.
So when I put that together and I started floating through the app the other day, I said, oh yeah, I remember these. I should really just keep making things I'm doing, but also start adding and rebuilding the journey challenges that I was doing before, either replacing them with better things or actually add more to each specific one. I think those are really good. There's a good way to I'll put it this way. The journey challenges are great. I introduced JFH to one of my students today while I was driving with them. And I said, there's a whole entire way you set up your your character, and you have your journey challenges, and this is how you present everything. And I sent them your Instagram handle, Jan, and they thought it was phenomenal how there's a platform, a layout on which they can go step by step. One, if they didn't know how to do it, or if they did know how to do this type of prep work, that they have the outlet to go and do it. It makes it so much easier and tangible for them to actually see that this can be something they can get themselves into, and not just that, but just have a lot of fun with too. So I forgot that those things existed, realized they were there the other day while I was flying through it, and I already had started this project with the Yulong series. I'll work on the Yulong series, take bits and pieces, and add it to the journey challenges as they fit to it.
Did you want?
I just wanted to add that even if you did this, every challenge you can add to it. So you can add multiple pieces of content to the same challenge. So you have that opportunity there. So I'm happy that you remembered.
Guys, I want to throw this out there too with you guys, because I think one of the, just in terms of value set and moving forward, especially coming with next year, I think one of the biggest values that I see as a creator working with all you other creators, all of us working together, is if we know your stories are happening, then we can come and augment together. And so it's really helpful to know that Vengeance, I've already seen some footage. You've already posted some of your JFH series, and Yulong, obviously you started in this week, especially going really hard, which is amazing. And so I'm looking at it from the standpoint of saying, okay, if we're putting all this stuff together as a big puzzle, and there's still more, I think, guidelines that need to come out for us as a community, so that everybody is really on the same page, whether you're new or you're veteran. But this is stuff that will be coming, even starting Monday. Like there's something coming out that will really align everybody. But that being said, is there anything that if anyone is working on with their character or stories, that you would like to see, that you would like to flush out, or, you know, would need a sounding board of anyone on here, or just any ideas that you want to share with your character that is something that you might be shooting on your own in the coming days, weeks, months, that we potentially should hear about.
I won't be able to do anything until I get a new phone.
Okay, what I would say in terms of the plan for next year and the theme for today, another theme, one of the 3 points for today that we want to touch on is setting this stage for the next, the end of this year, right? So we have an equity crowdfunding campaign coming up in 2 weeks. That means that anybody can own part of the ReelwUrld company that's building all the tech and producing JFH. So obviously there's an ask there that anybody who's on here, please let people know when we launch. So as we start ramping up and in the messaging, which will start on Monday more aggressively, please start letting people know that you're a part of this and that we're building out something that's larger. And we'll launch at 9 a.m. on October 29th. So there's still a lot of work that we're doing in the next week and a half, 2 weeks to get ready for that. In terms of stories, you know, when I look at something like what Guru Merkaba put out today, which he took, I'm not sure if anyone's seen Pootie Tang. I stayed away from Pootie Tang, like intensely. I was like, I'm not going to watch this film. Like, no. You know, for years. And then I watched it and I was like, oh my God, this is brilliant. It's one of the best action comedies I've ever seen. It's so good. So, you know, when I see stuff like what Guru put out today, which is, dude, I mean, like there's a lot put into that. So, you know, really, really great work. I start thinking about how our work affects other creators when we're referencing their stuff. You know, as a matter of fact, I've already been in contact with the creator of Pootie Tang because the second I saw the film, I reached out to him. I was like, this is too brilliant. I can't believe this. I just messaged him on Twitter and then we had a little exchange. So, you know, I was like, this is great. So, you know, I look at this stuff and I'm like, wow, you know, how can we use our art to activate other artists? And that's been running in my mind today very intensely because of what I think all of us had the opportunity and have the opportunity. Obviously, Elixir did Quentin Tarantino, creator who's on here right now. We did Matrix, you know, and you know, I did something from Shaolin Soccer today, but that is, you know, it's inspired by, and so I think Elixir and Guru Merkaba, both of you guys really did something that's very spot on for the actual scene itself. That's amazing. But I would love to know I hear from both of you guys. I think it'd be really helpful for the community to hear, like, how did you connect your JFH character to the concept of essentially bringing your character into the narrative structure of someone else's story, but still maintaining your character? How do you, you know, if you feel, I feel like you guys have accomplished it. Maybe you might feel differently. But I'm interested. Elixir, I'd love to hear from you. And then I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that because I was just kind of had some wheels spinning, and wanting to share. Like for me, because I'm not a martial artist, and so I sometimes feel like I don't really know where my place is in developing my character. I really kind of just feel like I'm, you know, just a real life civilian person that sometimes gets themselves into situations that call to be a little bit more than your everyday, you know? And so, and to what Yulong had said before, I also, and that part of it, it's because I haven't been to every meetup and so, and haven't spent as much time, I just discovered all of those little action call to action tasks as well. And I was like reading through them like, okay, I haven't done any of these, you know? So, and I think it could be really helpful to maybe help me create a little bit more around, you know, who Elixir is. But so I have felt a little bit lost at times on where to go with my character. For me, this was purely total honest, like wanting to create something and have a good time. And that's what me and my friend did. And we did it in a couple hours and I edited it. I've never edited anything. So I spent like 5 hours on iMovie trying to figure out how to do stuff. And it was like a chance to just be creative, create something. And so, of course, I fantasized about being an action hero. You know, this is like this is the closest thing I've come with a fake sword from the dollar store. I got a war wound too, by the way. Fernando got me real good in my thumb, man. I had a big old welt on there, big old bump. You know, the war wounds from those in-depth fight scenes. But I don't know. I think it, you know, maybe this is kind of my jumping off point, and now I can, you know, I got chased with a plastic sword, and see where it goes from here. I don't know. And I'm also open to feedback and any kind of, you know, I haven't had a chance to collaborate with anybody, you know, either outside of Jan, what, you know, we did together in the beginning. So. Which, by the way, I got a compliment from a producer. I'm gonna do a table read audition next week, and he was like, "Yeah, that Justice for Hire thing, man, you can run." He's like, "You're a really good runner." I was like, "Yeah, man," and I had no socks on. I had the worst blisters by the end of the day, but I had to chase Matt. He was running so fast, like. He wasn't even trying to go slow. I had to go, but it added to the whole thing. So, yeah, create and have a good time while I do it. I feel like that's what's happening at the moment.
So Elixir, I want to, Avel, I want to, I think you said something really interesting. And Ragdoll, I see you, so I definitely want you to chime in as well. I just want to address this before I forget, and then we'll jump with Guru Merkaba. But the concept of fitting in to the JFH universe, I think is very interesting because, and I just want full transparency. You know, we've wrestled with the idea of saying the first martial arts cinematic universe. Like, we've wrestled with that idea and been concerned that we would alienate people because we have such a diverse group of people already with us. And so, like, the last thing we want to do is make somebody feel like they're not a part of this when they're already a part of this and they're a valued, like, community member. And it's like, whether you create, like a lot of people on here, you know, I think everyone here has made something. So, like, whether you've made something or if you're just watching from the sidelines but supporting, you know, you're very much a valued member of our community. And so I think that when you say that, it reminds me of how important it is for us to be able to be strong in both areas. And I think we're still trying to figure out how to do that. Because it's on one side, you know, a producer once mentioned to me several years ago that he felt that what Justice for Hire can be is very similar to Law and Order. And he means that in the sense that Law and Order has been running for years and years and years, and there's all these different you know, versions of it. And I think we can do the same thing with Justice for Hire in this crowdsourced way that we're doing it, with different characters, let's say like Elixir, who may not be a martial artist, but has her own, you know, life that is connected to this whole universe that we all share. And I think that that's really the concept of us saying that, you know, so many different genres can happen in our cinematic universe. And you know, so I think that I'm hoping that you never feel alienated in any way because of some of the route that we're taking, especially with me personally being a martial artist, being like, hey man, like it's time for us to turn up on the action community because you know, if we don't pick one way to get really loud, we may not achieve that level of volume, you know. So I think that there's and just because we're doing that is not taking, it should not take away, and I want to make this statement as clear as possible, like there's room for everybody in JFH, and it really should be like whatever your story is, that is the story to tell. Like you don't have to feel like you should be doing action. You can be an accountant sitting down dealing with interpersonal challenges, and that can actually be super interesting. And we would love to see that, you know, and maybe you get hired to go and help somebody, you know, with the coffee machine breaking down. That's amazing. I would love to see that. You know, I think a lot of people would. So, you know, just had to throw that out there. But Ragdoll, I would please share what you want to say. Then Andre, and then of course Guru and Elixir. If there's any thoughts you have, please jump on that too. Ragdoll.
I really wanted to answer a question because what I did to film our little thing was I wanted to show everyone how me and my friend got acquainted.
That's awesome. So you're talking about in terms of your action competition submission, which was super similar to Federico Fellini. If anyone knows like cinema history, he's one of the most celebrated directors in history. So like Ragdoll's,
I do quite apologize. I'm going to have to look him up. I have no idea who you're talking
Google
about.
him. Just Google him. He died in 1993. He was he was a celebrated Italian filmmaker.
I just really wanted to answer. Really wanted to answer your question. That's why I'm like, oh, that's how me and my friend, which I'll definitely have to name in to say the name of the later video, got acquainted.
Well, I love the vibe. I think a lot of us did, and we'll share even more after this meetup. We'll share it in the cast chats, and we're also going to be putting it on TikTok and YouTube as well, because we want people to know and see this stuff prior to it coming.
Did I did tell you my ad on TikTok, right? Or did I not?
I'm not sure, but we
I know I've responded in the comment section. I'll put it in the Instagram message chat. How about that?
Please, thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely tag you.
Yay.
Andre? Oh, I'm meeting. I'm meeting. Hold on.
Hi, can you hear me? Sorry about that. Well, I was just thinking while I was listening to you talking, and action usually is movement. So action is movement. I say, I won't speak for Jack, but action does not equal just martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
You are a yogi. I would be curious to see how your character develops movement and action through movement specific to your line of sport. So instead of, I practice very little karate. For me, just for hire, it's bringing back a lot of that. But I was just chasing plastic swords, so it was super fun, and also those reactions. But as Jerry was saying, it doesn't have to be. I also struggled in the beginning. I'm like, okay, what's my role besides doing the app? How can I fit in, and how can my character bring something to the table in terms of the action? So while I was listening to you speaking, this is what I was thinking of. Action equals movement. Action does not equal just martial arts. It just happens that most of the people that join so far, but it doesn't mean that only martial artists will join. And how Jen was saying, it's law and order, organized crime will be will be justice for hire martial arts, justice for hire, kung fu or something. So this is what I would be curious to see from your character developing in the justice for hire universe, how you bring movement and how you create actions with the movement specific to your own sport.
Thank you. Food for
I
thought.
have to just add to that for a second, because that was really, I think, important. Thank you so much for sharing that, Andre, because the action, and I just looked up the film too. Action is not is not what we consider action as a genre. Like, action is from a filmmaking standpoint considered the hardest thing to shoot, and action really is movement. And again, to clarify, especially because we have a bunch of community members that might have challenges with movement, we've met them. They're wonderful community members. Again, valued community members. We want everyone to always feel like they can contribute, because this is our shared cinematic universe. So the concept of movement, I think, is so important. And I just Googled to remind myself the name of the film. It's called Perfume, and Perfume it's called Perfume: The Story of a Murderer. And I saw this at the Angelica Film Center when it came out in the theater. And one of the most amazing things about this film is that they give camera movement to the scent of perfume. And that, to me, is true action filmmaking. It's not about your ability to do stunts. That's a component of action filmmaking. But to be able to give to give people a sense of movement through visualization of the subtleties that we may miss in your life, I think, is one of the most important ways to look at action. And we probably need to do a greater video on that, just that concept to let that message out to a wider audience, because there's none of us live the same life. So it's really important that we empower ourselves to share those subtleties of our life, so we can create one, great entertainment, of course, but also like empathy and understanding. And that's going to make us even greater storytellers, especially as we start to unite like the Avengers. So, so before we get to Guru, Gene, AKA Vengeance, you have a question or a comment or something?
It's a question and a comment.
And we have Tai Chi Wonder on here too, so shout out Tai Chi Wonder with your great JFH actions.
I don't know if anybody in the JFH universe has done this yet. I'm hoping that the JFH Vengeance series will be the first to possibly do this in this universe. We're shooting a one-shot fight scene in a hallway with kung fu and stuff in there too. But we already did the rehearsal and everything, and we had the cameraman move around in the hallway too. It is one of the most difficult things I've probably ever done, especially with doing stunts. So I don't know if you guys could give advice or something on how to do that safely as well, because it's a very tight hallway and the camera is not cutting us, moving around and moving through the actors and stuff. So
yeah, have you seen the very first JFH trailer? So there's a fight, a very tight, a one-shot fight in a hallway. It's a scene, and it's between me and one of our choreographers, Frank Polanco, who plays Franco in the movie, in the series. And I do an elbow and crack him in, for real. The best take is where I actually hit him with my actual elbow, which is horrible, because you're never, but that's not what we're doing. But yeah, one shots are challenging, man, because it's just really kind of a trial and error. You do it over and over again, and you take the best take. There are some. I saw a tutorial online once in Premiere. It might have been After Effects. Definitely one of those Adobe products. but they were essentially taking the distance, because you know when you do choreography, a lot of times you stay 6 inches to 2 feet away from someone's face to protect them, and they use the camera angles to cheat. So they were using After Effects, I believe, to just take a clip of the hand and just move it a little, extend the arm a bit, so it looks like it actually hits. And I was like, this is really interesting. I've never done that, not once, for any of the fight scenes that I've choreographed, been in, or directed. So, you know, but that is an option to clean up clean up areas that you wish were stronger. And so you may want to check that tutorial. I haven't seen it in years, but I remember I was like flabbergasted. I was like, they did what?
I'm gonna keep that in mind because I got punched in the face already, so I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Yeah, man, and I'm hoping that, you know, you please proceed with caution as usual. I mean, obviously, like, I think we all know that you are entrenched in making your own action. So, you know, not worried about you, but I have to say this, like, please be careful. Don't do anything that you're not trained to do. We love you and care about you.
You don't want to get hit by these.
Yeah, you don't want to get hit by Armored Knight's fantastic gloves. Which I still need to order myself a pair of those type of gloves. Guru.
Go ahead, Guru.
Oh, thank you. Well, I guess to answer your question, Jan, about like how I was able, or how I brought my character into this other world was, you know, the scene took me a while to scour all the movies and be like, which one will work best? Because actually, when you had announced the challenge, I fractured my toe. Yeah, surprisingly enough, just walking through my room. So I had to find an action scene that would be the least amount of stress on my foot. And I came across the Pootie scene, and I was like, yes, this, 100% this. But when I was looking at what the actual scene, like a lot of the dialogue that was happening and everything like that, I went, yeah, I don't know if Guru wants to represent a lot of that. So I'm going to try and find like the best way that I can kind of like change the dialogue to fit what Guru had in mind. Because I remember watching one of your update videos, and you were talking about wanting to see wanting to see what our characters would be like in that universe or in that world. If they were put into this movie, how would your character have acted? And so I thought about it, and I was like, well, okay, you know, whereas in the you could see the little picture shot for shot, but like, you know, Guru doesn't hit with a closed fist. You know, he's not going for being brutal or being, you know, overtly violent. You know, a lot of it's like either palm or, you know, I was hitting pressure points, you know, and just trying to find some way to like play up the kind of, you know, fun and silliness that Pootie Tang in the movie has. You know, what is his source of his power, and, you know, kind of as like a silly joke, or, you know, having in mind, you know, be the same thing for Guru, his cape. You know, basically the way I kind of tied everything together of how like he ends up in this space is he fell asleep watching Pootie Tang. If you look in the comment section underneath the video I posted, I was like, you know, Guru woke and transformed into Guru Tang, or, you know, he just fell asleep watching Pootie Tang and this is a wild dream he's having. And, you know,
that's brilliant. That I mean, that simple idea of that you're watching, that your character's watching the movie, and then, which, you know, depending on, I don't know if this is correct yet, but like a lot of sources are saying that's the premise of the new Matrix film, that that essentially the Matrix, all the Matrixes that we've seen up to date is essentially a movie that his character made in that universe. So, but I think that's so interesting because like that's a really fun way, creatively, and when it comes to us as a community, partnering with brands, you know, and I'm speaking like this from a standpoint of saying that hey, you know, what we're really doing is we're setting ourselves up, each and every one of us, to monetize our content too. So it's not just that we're not just making stories for fun and it's great and awesome. We are, but there's more to it than that, because we know the trajectory of a social media platform. So we know that, hey, there's brand tie-ins that we're going to be doing, you know, like there are a few brand tie-ins that we didn't execute on this past summer, which I wish we could have, you know. Yeah, but you know, like just little things like that, where it's essentially you and a brand, and how are you going to take your JFH character that we all know already, not to say that you can't create a new one, and like make it a really cool, easy tie-in. And the fact that you were just gurus watching a movie, fell asleep, woke up in the movie. That is amazing. And I love that, because it's just, it's such low-hanging fruit. And we could kind of just do that. That could be a challenge, you know, like that's actually an amazing challenge. Your hero watches a movie and goes to sleep and wakes up in the movie. That's spectacular. Good stuff, Guru. That's awesome. That is really great. And you know, I'm super interested in because of Tai Chi Wonder's video, and how you redid Jet Li's Tai Chi Master. Ruben, we'd love to hear from you as well. Of were there any thoughts from you or feelings from you with integrating your JFH character, like tying it in with someone of the you know, the gravitas of like Jet Li? What are your thoughts on is it as simple as you just getting in front of the camera and doing, because that takes a lot to do what you did, memorizing that type of form. That's a very sophisticated form that you did, and you did it beautifully. As an experienced martial artist, I can say that's very sophisticated stuff you were doing. So how did you make that connection between your character and the and the film you remade, essentially?
So I definitely was gonna do something Tai Chi. I was just like, okay, I practiced Tai Chi for a while now, and the whole point is mastering it. And then now Tai Chi Wonder appears, and that's a beautiful scene. I mean, I didn't have like the resources to do the rest of the scene. When the rest of the scene, what Jet Li does is that he was able to take the energy around him, and then he puts it like it's a whole bunch of leaves that start gathering together, and then the wind start pulling and pushing all around him, and then he releases it as soon as he releases the energy, right? So that practice leads up to that. Again, I didn't have the resources and stuff like that, and I wanted to just keep it nice, short, and sweet. But again, Tai Chi Wonder was leaning towards that. And then I just thought it was just a perfect opportunity to not only get the practice, and it was, you know, again, it's easier for me because I've been practicing for a while now. So to learn the choreography behind it, I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. And to learn the choreography, man, it was just like, I practiced it a couple times. I was like, okay, looks good. Let's put it on film. I grabbed somebody I knew, and then, you know, they helped me out, and you know, I put it together. But yeah, man, it was pretty good. I wish I could have added more, but yeah, but yeah, it wasn't as challenging. I think it was a pretty good opportunity to integrate Tai Chi Wonder with Tai Chi Master, right? Like Jet Li has years of experience, and he's a Tai Chi Master, you know. So I just thought everything just kind of connected in a way. At least from my perspective, it just kind of connected in one way or another in all areas. To a certain extent, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
So look, I mean, I think it was fantastic. You say you didn't have the resources. Next time, you know, just put it on the app that, hey, friends with leaf blowers, you know, gather at my house.
Yeah. No, you're right. No, you're right, bro. I should have done it. It's just like, again, it's just going back to like leaving things for last minute. If I would have done this at the beginning of the deadline, like as soon as you put out the date, and you were just like, okay, look, it's going to be by this date. I'm like, okay, all right, let me get started this week, right? So I had a whole bunch of other shit, but instead of, again, leaving it for last minute, I should have just jumped on it and then put the whole thing together, which would have been amazing, right? Because that's the idea for me with Tai Chi, is like, those things are possible. At least that's you know, that's the way I see it, right? It's like, Like when you get into martial arts, I mean, some people, like if you looked at old martial arts movie, you looked at the ancient secrets of it, right? It's like, yo, but is there actual powers that's in like emitting from human beings, right? So there's different levels of that. Yeah, man, I should have done it. I should have done it at the beginning of it, but I didn't jump on the opportunity. Next time I'll probably do something like that.
Man, no, it was great. It was great, and thank you again, and thank you everybody who submitted. Again, this stuff. I don't think we've ever had so many like rapid fire submissions. This week has been pretty spectacular. Again, started last week with Elixir, and it just started rolling in after that. So thank you guys. And I'm really just wondering, there's a lot of stuff that we've been working on, not only with the upcoming equity crowdfunding campaign, but also with the JFH series itself, and the fact that this is now 3 years. We've been doing this for 3 years, and I was just talking to Autumn and Andra about how special that actually is. It's so special that to be working with a group of people for this long, especially the folks that were there from New York, and how the more people have come around, like this idea and energy, and the consistency, the fact that we all know that we're working towards something, and it may not be, and I definitely know it has not been as clear as it could have been, up to this point, yet people are still here, and it means so much to me personally, but I think it means so much for the implications of what community, what we as a community are working toward, and what we want. And so my question is there anything that you have not seen in JFH thus far that you might be seeking from entertainment, from storytelling, from life, from friendship, from community, that you would like to see, whether that's in our app from a technological standpoint, whether that's challenges, content? Vengeance already has something. Go for it.
Our very own Thanos.
Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. So you said our very own Thanos. So I think that's really, really fantastic. We got some snapping. We got snapping. Guru, you want to add to that?
I've mentioned this to you personally before, but I think I'll say it now. But like something like a trailer challenge or something like that, so we can see trailers from the heroes. So or a way to help the heroes put together, individual trailers for each other. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we definitely need to add that more, add a specific trailer challenge as well, because I think that it might be easier for some people just to put together a trailer versus do all the journey challenges and then make a trailer from there. So the premium. Yeah. So I think that's really interesting though, what Vengeance just said in terms of our own Thanos. And again, that's I think one of the things that we've been we have characters. There's a lot of characters and a lot of antagonizing energy that we haven't articulated clearly yet, or as clearly yet, because what's been shot for the last 3 years still needs to be cut fully. So, and like what we put out, the 4 episodes we put out, again, we call them a starter pack because they are really just to kind of prime the community on the type of interaction that and universe rules that we have, rather than to tell a more traditional series story. So there are antagonizing forces in there. A lot of people saw our Enter the Cowboy challenge this year, where we started talking about Cowboy in this summer, and Creator, who was on here, he's on here right now. Creator had got to do a fight scene, a fight moment with Cowboy, but now he's even more prepared because he's been training with Max Chen, as you can see in his JFH action scene experience. So, but I would love, actually, Creator, I'd love to hear from you. But first, I want to go to Abel, who's got her hand up.
Thanks, Teach. So this is what I think. What I need is for you, the trifecta there, you, Autumn and Andra, not to give up, because what you guys do and what you continue to do and what you're building, this is not something that comes overnight. And I know that like everybody that's in the community is a part of it, but there's a process, it's happening, you know? And so like now you're getting a mass amount of people's attention, right? So everybody's joining, everybody's like, you know, you guys are so good with social media. I mean, I don't know if you guys discussed notifications and how you can get notifications, because it's an app through a website. I know that's different than having an app that you download that reminds you to go onto the app, because I just always forget about the app to be honest. And I'm more linked in with you guys on social media because I'm on TikTok and Instagram. But you know, we're here and we're listening, and your guidance in it and the things that you're coming up with, like, it's going to keep, you know, getting people involved. So yeah, just keep going, just keep swimming.
Well, I mean, thank you so much for saying that. You know, had a moment of internal tears. It's so tough. Let's go again. I'm gonna do that. But thank you so much for sharing that. And we'll. Andra was saying there are some notification stuff that we do have notifications. They
on several triggers.
On several, yeah, and so we do. It does.
The one is still like we're trying, yeah.
We,
in the works.
yeah, there's still more things in the works. So literally every week things get better. So so it's, you know, plugging away at the sculpture every week. So, but thank you so much for reminding us and just articulating that, just to know that is something that is thought of on your side. That type of consideration and is a big deal. So we're very, very grateful. I think I speak on behalf of the team for that. And Creator, to tell us about bringing Creator into. Please tell us about how you brought your character into a scene that is inspired by another film.
Well, first off, I'm at work, so this is going to be like really fast. I'm hiding in the bathroom.
Okay.
So basically, when I think about this, Kick-Ass was my original thought of this because it's like the most realistic superhero show I could think of. But then it was just like, you got to have fun with it, you know, give people new content and just realize that just because superheroes exist, but all like the same type of superpower, it's how you tell the story that makes the character. Like for instance, you have Omni-Man, Superman, and the guy from The Boys. They all have the versions of Superman. But it's how they tell a story that makes the character. You know, you have like Plastic Man, Mr. Fantastic, Elastigirl, they all stretch, but each one of their story is different. So you just gotta be able to tell a good story. They don't care if you have like the same power. It's all about, it's the art of deliverance, you know? To me, that's all that matters. So with this, it's just fun because, you know, I cosplay. So I was like, you know what, let me just make my own superhero and see how far it goes. And it's taken me kind of far. I met some really great people. I got to work with some good people. And yeah. But that's it. It's the art of deliverance. That's how I say. You just can't give up. It's not an overnight process. You know, people don't want to put in the work because they think you get instantly famous. But you know, shooting a scene takes 2 to 4 weeks, you know? They don't understand that part. But you know, it is what it is. But anyways, yeah, I'm at work. Bye.
Thank you so much for those words, man. And thank you for doing it in the middle of work too. But both you and Taichi Wonder are in the middle. It looks like you guys are working hard, and so thank you for making time for this, even while you're in the midst of that. And I think that's really well said too, Creator, aka David. I think that's really, really well said. That there are so many different renditions of an archetype, but it's really about how you tell the story for that archetype. And I think that's something that you know, even in my own personal writing that I do that I do in my personal blog, that's something that I have coming up is the importance of recognizing your archetype and what that means for your character in life. And so I think that for the characters we create in JFH and that we're building upon, whether you have one character or you have multiple characters, because some of you have multiple characters, and that's awesome. It really is in the way that we deliver it. So thank you so much, David, because you gave me something to really think about when it comes to our own Thanos. So that's but you know, is there anything else that anyone wants to share? Because I think this is, you know, I want to check in with everybody. We do these once a month, and again, this is a special day because it is the deadline, and there's still time for people to submit. There's another 1, 2, 3. There's another 5 hours left that people can submit. Like, I might shoot a second scene because I want to shoot a slow motion moment of untying a shoe while someone's throwing a kick. So, so I'm like, this could be a fun submission. So all that takes is like 1, 2, 3 shots. So maybe even 2. So, but if you are, Arbor Knight, please go for it. Arbor Knight, you. Oh, I wasn't sure if you're raising your hand or telling someone else off screen to stop talking.
I was.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's go.
Would this be our Thanos?
Okay, can you speak a little? You're a little low, or is my volume low? No, you're a little bit low.
Would this be our Thanos?
Oh, would who be our Thanos?
Would this be the type of Thanos character?
Oh, you mean your outfit right now?
Yeah.
I'd say that the only thing that we would from this is Jan producer talking, not Jan in character. What we would need is to remove the Marvel logo of the Punisher, because we would totally get flagged for that. But aside from that, yes, 100%. If you just flipped it inside out and all of a sudden it was black.
It's white. It's white on the inside.
That's great. It actually ties into some of the stuff that we've talked about in some of our, I think it was Hero Meetup 18, when we had talked about the plague of the ninjas that are still coming, that have been shot.
Wait, the what?
Oh, were you not here on that one with Mouse? 15-year-old Mouse, 15-year-old Mouse, like came up with a breakthrough idea that is essentially a part of what's leading into our second season, and that's essentially we have there's like an epidemic of ninjas that we have that's going to be part of. I mean, obviously, like with JFH, we have the real life like concerns and issues that we deal with, that we want to make statements on creatively, but then we also have the more fantastical like Thanos, like, you know, villains and antagonizing energy. So one of those antagonizing forces that's coming up in the season, that's actually going to make its debut in the first season because it's already shot, is ninjas coming up nationwide that are essentially disrupting culture. And
wait, so all the characters are about to fight ninjas?
Yes.
and didn't we discuss that the ninjas also could be symbolic of something that's really like vitriolic and toxic in society and culture?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So we had a very, very deep conversation, all of which has been noted, and so it is pretty, and especially what the final conflict of the ninjas leads to in terms of all of our characters being able to come together, because we need an excuse from a production standpoint for all of us to unite, for all of us to actually have to get together in one place, you know, culture willing, that allows us to you know, produce a series where each of these characters gets to pop up and actually be in a scene together. So, and of course, as we scale, as we get bigger as a community, it's just going to get bigger, when we centralize people. So hence, going on tour and going to different locations, and then actually having locations and having challenges and events that essentially, by producing content that lets us know who wins, certain opportunities, where we fly people out to set to actually shoot stuff like large ninja battles. So we'll figure all this out over time. But yes, Vengeance, that ninjas are happening, and that there'll be when that actually happens, there'll be a whole challenge around it. What you guys are about to see in the coming months, weeks and months, especially at the end of this year, is us going into a different mode than we've been in before, which is essentially a post-production mode. And this post-production mode is going to, I'm going to be personally cutting at the first season of JFH, which is already shot. But when I say it's already shot,
Right?
oh, hey, well, you're back. It's already shot, but it's not finished. And it's not just post-production wise, but we're going to need content from you guys. We're going to need video content from you guys to fill in blanks in this season and to tell your stories in, essentially parallel to the story that's being told during the season. So we're going to be requesting content from you guys pretty regularly, and I'm going to personally have a lot more camera on my face and in the edit. So I'll be turning the camera. We're live streaming right now to Instagram. We were live streaming on TikTok. Look at Vengeance waving at you guys. But yeah, we'll do a lot more of that so that we can just make it that much more collaborative. Because this is, it's we're making a show together. And there'll be a lot of challenges in the app, missions and challenges that it's okay, hey, we need this content. So jump in the app, finish that challenge, and then we'll be able to pull that content from the app into the series and then go from there. So, and obviously whatever gets monetized from the series and is obviously profitable, then people get paid from actually being in the series. So the structure here is us saying, hey, you know what, we're actually building a sustainable ecosystem of filmmaking. It's just in a different way. So there's lots of traditional ways which have lots of red tape and invisible walls. And then there's this new way that we're doing that we're all forging together. So it's gonna be fun. But that'll happen in the coming weeks and months. So, but once we launch, it'll actually even be part of our crowdfunding campaign, because we'll be talking about it a lot, because we're not raising funds for an idea, we're actually doing it, and we were doing it before anyone invested. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be lots of fun. But guys, I'm just is there anything else that anyone wanted to add to this conversation, where we're going, questions, ideas, thoughts, at all?
Again, not to interrupt anybody who just wanted to say something now, but I just wanted to mention, I think I put it in the chat, where making a JFH video game, that would be badass, bro. Yo, dead ass, man. If you could make a video game of all the characters that's been participating, Sensei Claus, everybody, it would be really, really cool. And we don't even have to do any fancy kind of Hadouken or Super Saiyan power-ups, well, maybe for some certain characters, but again, it don't have to be so extravagant. It could just be something very, very simple, very, very intriguing, and very cool, representing JFH and the characters that's there. And it could be anybody. And you could even have a feature of build your own character, and make it look like the actual person. The resources are there. You just need the team, and you need to ask and knock on whatever doors or whatever. Yeah, man, I think that would be really cool.
Well, hopefully thank you for sharing that. I mean, sooner rather than later. And what I mean by that is that I definitely think that this will happen. Is that the more we have plugged into our ecosystem, because we're building an ecosystem, meaning that there's so many components to it. But the more that we have plugged in, and I think I mentioned this. Hold on, I don't think I've said this on a Hero Meetup before. you guys are going to have your own action figures soon, like very soon. Like that, as a matter of fact, I need to reach out to the CEO of the other company because we were supposed, David, creator, was supposed to be the first guy to go and get scanned for your own action figure last week. So so we've dropped the ball. We've been dealing with so much stuff. So
Can I be a bobblehead?
Essentially this. That's essentially what I'm getting at, is that by us having an ecosystem that allows our characters to have their own databases, that we essentially can utilize those databases for a bunch of different outputs. So one output would be action figures. Another output would be, potentially video game skins. So there's a lot of partnerships like that happen. And that's something that, obviously we're not talking the video game route right now because, the gaming side is its own beast, but that's not to say that we can't partner with a company that does that and then skin our characters onto that. So that's a great idea, Tai Chi Wonder. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you for bringing that to mind as usual. But yeah, I totally forgot. That's David. and just so everyone knows, the scanning facilities are in New York, and the new one is opening in LA or in Burbank, which is not too far from us.
I can't get to neither one. I'm in West Virginia.
Sooner rather than later, there will be more of them. The first two scanning facilities are in New York and LA. Actually, more specifically, they're in Brooklyn. At the Brooklyn, not the Navy Yard, the Sunset Park, those Sunset Park yards. So anyway, we will make the official announcement on that soon, as like in the coming weeks, because that was something that's a note. So guys, please remind me of that. But yeah, we'll totally make that announcement, and sooner rather than later, we're like all this technology. There'll be more facilities. There'll be more opportunities for us to get heroes to these scanning facilities, so you can actually have your own, action figure. And then not only that, it's not about you having your own action figure. It's about you having your own action figure and everybody else being able to have it too. Meaning that we'll be able to sell it, and you'll be able to make cash off of your action figure. So, like in our marketplace on the platform. So all this stuff, again, multi-year plan, is stuff that we've been talking about exactly this for years, and then it just so happened that somebody I did martial arts with works for a company that does exactly this. And so I was like, oh my God, perfect timing. So it's gonna be great. But guys, I'm as usual, every time we do these meetups, we are, and I'm speaking, personally right now, I am always re-energized in this mission. And it's because of you guys. It's because of you guys showing up. It's because of your creativity and your heart. And it just, like, all of that just plugs right into mine. And then I just feel a jolt. And so, from the bottom of my heart, personally, thank you so much for being here and believing in our ability to share, period. Because that's what we're doing. We're sharing. And I think that the best is, I know that the best is yet to come, and we're going to make history together. Absolutely. And it's already happening. So we're in the process of making history together. So thank you guys for.
So did you want me to say something?
Yeah, please.
What did you want me to say? I was in the bathroom with you.
So I'm going to give a quick intro here for everyone who does not know. And Sensei, we haven't heard from you either, so I'd love to hear from you too. But for everyone who doesn't know, this is Armored Knight, another wonderful real life superhero community member. And every time people from the real life superhero community join JFH, like, I get so excited because, what they do, which is, obviously we're making a show, it's entertainment. We're not necessarily real life superheroes, but for them to see the value of what we're doing for the world and to bring the value that they do for the world and connect it with ours is a monumental achievement for our community. Every time somebody from the real life superhero community joins. So, like, Armored Knight, thank you as usual for being a part of this and being so consistent and helping us also during the week on our app tests, like Sensei Claus, like Guru Merkaba, like Creator. to help Andra and all of us, in building what we're building together. So Armored Knight, please, that's a short little intro. Please.
Sorry I wasn't here this past Wednesday. Everybody in the media, they made fun of all of us real life superheroes. See, at that time, I was just getting started. I'm 53 years old, and what affected me was my 4 cousins. That was New York firefighters. They got killed in 9/11, and at that time, I was looking for a persona, a real life superhero persona to go with, and I chose the Punisher because they're from New York, they're firefighters, and I didn't want anything like that to happen to any of my family or friends anymore. And when I was walking around, as Frank Castle had a jacket, had a shirt, had all that. I had real live guns, pistols that I carried on me. Everywhere I went, there was cops, there was security guards. Every department store I ever went in, they called the cops. They followed me around. I didn't know they were following me. I'd just go in there, get what I had to get, and come back out, pay for it, come back out. And they didn't try to stop me or anything like that, question me or anything like that, put me in handcuffs. I seen a lot of my family told me, they said, do you realize when you go in them stores, there's cops are called on you and security are following you everywhere. See if you're going to steal anything or do something drastic like, pull out a weapon and use it on a bunch of people. And I said, no, I'm not like that. And I had the attitude of the Punisher the whole time. And just, I was ready. Someone going to jump, someone going to do something, I was ready. I seen where I messed up, and what made me change my mind, I became a Christian, and me dressing as the Punisher, I even went to church dressed as the Punisher. The church that I go to now, I was dressed as the Punisher, sitting in the pews while service was going on. And a lot of people came in there and seen me sitting there with that. They just got up and left. So the pastor told me, he said, brother, he said, I hate to say this to you and get you mad and upset. And I hope you don't, you don't stop coming. But the clothes you are wearing is turning people away. And I said, Pastor, I know what you mean because I've been dealing with this for a while, and I want to change my ways. I've got a persona, which you see my name right now, Armored Knight. It's all about life. He's all about life. And instead of going fighting crime and villains and all that, what me and my team does, we go feed the homeless on the streets where I live here in West Virginia. I live in Fairview, but where we do the patrols and stuff at are in Fremont, West Virginia, which is about 10 to 12 miles away. I changed my persona because it was giving the wrong, throwing off the wrong vibes, if I can say that. It was throwing off vibes. Instead of people running to me, it's like, hey, you're a superhero. We love it. It was, they were avoiding me. They were just leaving. But now, since I'm Armored Knight and I go to Comic Cons, I go to, things that's happening around the area. I go in this uniform. I got a lot of other uniforms that I, same uniform, but different styles of uniform that I can switch out of. You've seen that tonight. I got patches over here that has to go on the new uniform that I have. When we do this, we're doing God's work. It's in the Bible. Jesus said, when I was thirsty, you gave me drink. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was in prison, you came and visited me. When I was sick, you came and comforted me. We're doing what we do on the streets here in West Virginia. We're doing it for Father God, Lord Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. We're doing God's work. We're his hands and feet. And it's really, a lot of people say, oh, it's charity work. I've had some superheroes, real life superheroes tell me, I ain't gonna get into charity work. I want to fight crime. I'm a warrior and stuff like that. Well, go ahead. But you're going to have costs after you. You're going to have, you're going to draw the wrong attention. Like I was drawing the wrong attention when I was dressing as the Punisher. And I'll tell you, when you dress as anything that's like from Marvel or DC Comics, they're going to look at you and call you a copycat. I've been called that so many times when I was dressing as the Punisher. And, since I am Armored Knight now, and you all see my face, I love this, what I'm doing now. It gives me the best thing. My uniform, I looked at Andrea and it reminded me. My uniform consists of, it's three things that I picked, three characters that I picked from. And the two characters, one is not a character, but two of them's from the Bible. And the third one is, as you can tell, Assassin's Creed. The first two is Michael the Archangel out of the Bible and the full armor of God. I don't have a helmet for the helmet of salvation, but I do have a sword. I have a Michael the Archangel sword. I have a shield with a cross on it. I do have the boots on, but you can't see them right now. But the biker armor that I have on right here, it is for the armor that protects your, all your vital extremities. The belt is a police utility belt, and the mask is what I use for the helmet, which is not really a helmet, but I have this mask, is some cards. I just had it on, but I'll put it on again.
Armored Knight, I think you said something really, really powerful here. I mean, a bunch of powerful stuff. And I think one of the most that in terms of actionable steps of the community is creating your own character, the authenticity that's required for you, for a person to do so, versus copying another a character that we see, which causes multiple problems. One, you've faced those problems on your own, being called a copycat. But two, if from a production standpoint, we legally can't get behind anybody who's going too intensely on, let's say, I look like Spider-Man or I look like XYZ, and because that's copyright infringement. So for us, we would rather see original characters, and you just gave an amazing formula. You said, I picked three things. Mm-hmm. And to be able to say, I'm choosing three things, and I'm taking a little bit of this character, a little bit of that character, a little of that character, and I'm making it my own. I think that's a really interesting challenge that we may want to put out to the community, and potentially even, ask you, Armored Knight, to weigh in on, maybe shoot some footage for that challenge as well. Because I think that's that's a really powerful way to help people who might be on the fence, because there are a bunch of people who are like, I don't know how to make my character. And we have a bunch of guides in the app, but they're behind the wall of creating the account. So we might need a little bit more on the front end of like, need an idea. This is a really, we need to write the, we should probably put like a need. Yeah, we should probably record this. But we should probably have like a need an idea button. And then like someone pops up, maybe it's you, Armor Knight, like, hey, I chose 3 things.
We are recording. We are recording.
Yes, we are recording. And Andre, you had something that you wanted to add too, right?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I wanted to add. So I think there's one challenge called Help Another Hero, or a mission where you get to help another hero. So if you need, you can create a mission for the community. And in terms of since Armor Knight joined, one of my favorite things about him joining is that his character name reminded me of one of my favorite verses in the Bible. But why? Because it embodies values that each and every one of us in what we bring to the table called JFH, we embody. So be it truth, faith, righteousness, all these values that I've seen. And this is, Avel, thank you a lot for that shout out. Like hearing from you, don't give up, means a lot. Means a lot, and I need you guys to don't give up. And I just wanted to say that he reminded me of all the values that this community embodies in one way or another. And if you put it in a prop for your own character, or if we talked on a different occasion of what I think also with mouse and EQ and what it means to just show up. And this is what I've seen from this community, and I continue to see, like, people showing up, and means a lot. So thank you for that amazing reminder of Ephesians, Armor Knight, and thank you all for all the values that you as out of character embody and bring to the JFH and ReelwUrld table, and how you put those in the characters in the JFH universe. So thank you.
Welcome. I'll tell you.
Thank you so much, Armor Knight. I'm sorry.
Everything you see right here, everything that you've seen in my pictures, that's on the website and on Instagram. Every bit of this, except for the mask. The mask came from, both masks came from eBay. The rest of it came from wish.com. A lot of people don't like Wish. They've been dealt dirty and stuff like that. But it took me a while to put this together. But I'll tell you, you see the finished product right here before you, and all them pictures that I've posted. So all you have to do is get your idea in your head, what you want to be, and see the vision that you want, or see the vision that, well, God gives you the vision that he wants you to be. When he does that, you go with it. You find the different parts on Wish, Amazon, eBay. You put it all together. Then all you have to do is come up with a persona name, a real life superhero persona name. And that's exactly what I did.
Well, it's super inspiring, Armor Knight, and you know, I would say, you know, as a person that's grown up around so many different paths, and I do my best to see the through line between the paths. You know, whether it's different martial arts styles, different religions, etc. You know, I think that it's really, you know, to piggyback on what Andra said, you know, the core of all these disciplines, martial, religious, etc., really is tied together through love, discipline, truth, righteousness, justice, all these things we find in common, really, no matter where we are from and no matter what part of the world we're from, or what our background has been. And I think that for us to continue to remind each other of that as we create these characters, because the characters we create, they go into the world. People see them. People, whether you're a real life superhero walking around embodying it, or whether you're a JFH character on the street shooting your scene, embodying it, hopefully saying action very, very loud, so everyone understands that you're shooting an action scene, keeping yourself and everybody safe. But we should be ideally being able to embody these things and be great representations. And even if you're playing a villain, because we have villains on JFH, and even if you're playing a villain, being able to when cut happens, to go back to the type of sharing that we're all doing, going back to that baseline of, hey, this is creative, this is loving, we're all coming together to tell a story. How cool is that? With that type of exuberance, as long as we always maintain that, I think we're going to thrive as a community, because up to this point, everyone's been so positive and loving. And even we've had some gawkers on YouTube, and when I talk to them and ask them questions, they realize that they're actually one of us. And that's cool. Like because all you do is ask the right questions. Then people realize, like, hold on for a second. That's me. I want to be down too. So, and everybody can be. There's everybody is welcome. And so I think that we're in a great place together. And I'd say that the only person we haven't heard from is Sensei Claus. And if you'd like to say something, we'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, we can call it a night. Klaus. I like to call him Klaus. 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 Which is the fish. You guys know the fish.
Everything.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm making a reference to American Dad. The fish. Klaus. I'm just letting everybody know why I say that.
Haven't seen that in years.
I haven't seen it in years either, but I just remember Klaus. And he's got a great accent.
So I think everyone's going pretty smoothly. Didn't have too much to add. For projects like Ruben mentioned the video game, there are other ways you could go with that. I mean, these days, people are into everything. There's a niche now for anything you can think of. If you wanted to do trading cards, digital or material, you could do that. If you wanted to do a physical board game, people would buy that. I have seen so many weird types of media become at least niche popular in the last 15 years or so that you would not have believed existed in the 90s, early 2000s. So I guess there's one thing I'd have to add. It's that if you have any weird idea that sounds too dumb to work, it might not be.
What a great way to end tonight's meetup. If it sounds too dumb to work, it might not be.
That's honestly how I see it nowadays.
Well, and I think that anybody who's got an idea for JFH, if you feel like you're apprehensive about sharing it because it sounds dumb, stupid, or crazy, please share it. We want to hear, and we believe it might actually make the community better. So thank you, Sensei. We love you, and thank you, everybody. Vengeance, I see your hand up.
I did.
It might sound stupid, but what if we did a crossover with the Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers at some point?
Dude, that's exactly the kind of stuff we should be doing. That's not stupid. That's exactly the goal. No, he's just talking about crossovers in generle.
Captain Planet.
Well, Leonardo DiCaprio owns Captain Planet now, so we'll see. I'm under the impression he bought the rights to that 4 years ago. But I would love to. I'd love to see it. And he's in the network, one of our advisors. But yeah, it's and to be clear, he's not one of our advisors. He's one of our producer advisors. Is close to them. So not to.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Speak the future.
Yeah. So, but yeah, absolutely. Avengers crossover. crossovers is something that we want to work on as a community, and that was when I was alluding to earlier with earlier this summer. A branded sponsorship was a crossover that we're working with a film that was coming out this summer, for an action film, because this is like the martial arts film year. I'm not sure how the film did. How did G.I. Joe do? I didn't see Snake Eyes, but I was hoping that we were supposed to do, hopefully we were like working on a branded partnership with G.I. Joe. That did not happen. I think the timing was off, but I really wanted to do that because it would have put every JFH hero in a position to have the Snake Eyes gear. So we would have sent out Snake Eyes gear. It would have been crazy. But I see the hand up. What's going on?
This doesn't really have to do with JFH, but it has to do with me and another cast member, aka Vintage.
Okay.
And with what you were talking about. So for 2022, and I'm hoping you all see this because me and Vintage are about to work hard on this project pretty soon. We're going to be doing a fan film, a pretty huge fan film, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. Pretty sure.
Awesome.
It's going to be dope.
Well, just so you know, our thinking from a ReelwUrld, like the ReelwUrld, the company with the producing Justice for Hire, our thinking is that every film is a fan film. So like I don't even call them fan films at this point because I feel like that takes away from the actual creative energy behind it, because what we're doing on here, and some of the hate that we got on YouTube that became love was because people because media has drawn a line between the audience and Hollywood, or the creators, or the people who are quote unquote in power producing content that is consumed by the masses. But if you really look at how culture has shifted, we're all in power creating content that is consumed by the masses. So what is the real difference? And if the real difference is creativity, like that's really person to person. If we're talking about production value, meaning money spent, you can spend hundreds of millions of dollars and lose it because the creative isn't there. So now if we're really talking about a money game and we're talking about creativity, the resources have to be redirected toward a different type of creative culture. And what we are here right now on the Zoom, and everyone who watches this, we're a part of that shift. So I don't consider what you're doing a fan film. I consider it like if I was, at Hasbro, again, those are folks that are also in our network. If I was this is something where it's like, hey guys, you should be working with, Vintage and Vengeance, AKA Vincent and Gene, because they're expanding your universe, because that's how it should be looked at. You guys are expanding their storyline. And that's why everything in Justice for Hire, if you follow the rules of the universe, actually expand the storyline, because it's just a different way of looking at owned and controlled intellectual property. Like we don't own any of your characters. You guys own your characters. We are crossing them over by nature of us collaborating. So if we just change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. And I think that's where we're going as a community and as a culture as a whole. Hence the equity crowdfunding campaign starting October 29th. So thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. And like I said, heartwarming every time we do this. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. We're going to finish putting out, like right after this, I'm getting off. I'm going to finish posting the rest of the videos. Guru's video, Ragdoll, you're already on IG. And I'm just going to keep on pumping the videos that everyone's made across all of our social platforms so that everybody gets to see it. And please, everyone's using the app though. I think everybody's used it, which is great. We'll see if Born Majestic puts his video up because he has one, which is going to be great. And Ragdoll, you got something? I'm not sure if you raised your hand. Okay.
Sorry, I had a little issue with the mute button.
Okay.
I'll make sure to put it in the Instagram chat, my TikTok at, so you'll be able to locate it.
You can put it in your profile.
Oh yes, you can also put it on your profile in the app, and we can pull it from there too. You can add your
I will
TikTok
do
handle.
both of those.
Please do. Thank you so much. And we love
No
you guys.
problem.
and you Long, it's so great to have you back. You know, it really is. We missed you so much. You've done such so much great work. So it's great to see you back. And
Thank you, my brother.
stronger
Yeah,
than ever.
remember, thank you for keeping me on and let me be part of it and try to contribute a little bit more. I mean, I got a lot of space now, and I'm just, for the premise of everything I'm doing is just the buildup of the hero, how it goes from the nothing to something. You know, the everything hanging out of the walls. You know, the whole entire wood in the walls. You know, the sheetrock ripping off, mold you got to clean like the whole. Let's just build up a cool place and do stuff like that kind of thing. And the whole process. That's what we're focusing on. That's why the videos look raw in what we're doing with the You-Long series. But thank you, and thanks everyone for collaborating and doing
The
things
offer
together.
stands for everybody. Is if you want a development call, if you want to like just talk about your creative process, your character, and then the offer is always open to everybody. Just let me know and we'll schedule it. And we always put them on YouTube so other people can watch it as well and learn from so we can learn from each other. So yeah, let me know. And thank you guys again. Have a great weekend. As usual, love you guys, each and every one of you so much. See you soon, guys.
Hey, Jan.
Yeah.
Can we do a thing, me and you, about what I had in mind for my action scene, but I can't do it because of my phone.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Let's
when you're not busy.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah. Let's sync on Instagram and we'll schedule it.
All right.
Okay. Love you guys. Have a good night.
Cool.
You too. Thanks again.